For BMWs big and small, we have dash cams for them all. Today we show you how to install one on this E82.
Welcome back. I'm Dylan with BimmerTech. You've seen us talk about and install our dash cam in a bunch of different BMWs before, and while that rhyme at the beginning was amazing, no, we don't have them for all BMWs, but we do have one for an E82 and shared platforms.
This plug-and-play dash cam fits perfectly behind the rear view mirror, allowing this E82 to have a discreet 4K dash cam always running when you need it most. With the included 128GB SD card and optional rear dash cam, you won't miss anything regardless if you're driving at night, in the rain, or during sunset or sunrise.
There are two ways to install this dash cam. One is to tap into the rain sensor behind the rear view mirror, and the second option is to run the cabling to the fuse panel. Today we'll be focusing on the fuse panel method since that will work in all vehicles.
If you want to get a better idea on the rain sensor method and installation of the optional rear dash cam, you can go check out our F30 video linked in the description. While the vehicle is different, the principle is the same. Remove some trim and tap into the connector. Keep in mind you will get a detailed set of PDF instructions with your order specific to your vehicle.
Installation of the optional dash cam is easy as well, and to install it, you'll just run the cabling to the rear of the vehicle. But with all that out of the way, Jarrett is going to show you how to install the front dash cam on this E82. Jarrett, take it away.
Before disconnecting anything electronic, it's always best to disconnect your battery. Start by opening the trunk and with a 10mm socket, remove the negative battery terminal and set it aside. Now back inside. Using a BimmerTech trim tool, separate the two halves of this trim here by pushing them apart from the center. Carefully pull out this grommet from the headliner like so. Get the red power cable from the BimmerTech dashcam ready by taping it to a small cable tie like so. You will end up feeding this through that grommet. It will make it easier to use a trim tool in your hands to separate the camera housing in two halves. You will need to do this later for installation anyway. To aid in feeding the cable through, spray a small amount of WD-40 into the grommet. Wipe off any excess before feeding the cable. Grab the cable tie and feed it through the grommet like so. And make it a little tight when you get to the connector, so just be careful and work it through. Remove the tape and cable tie. Clean up any excess WD-40. While you're here, take the red connector from the main harness and plug it into the camera. You can begin tucking it into the headliner like so to keep it out of the way. Put the grommet back in place. Grab this half of the camera housing and snap it into place like so. You may have an extra cable coming out of it. That would be for the rear dash cam. Since a rear dash cam was not being installed on this car, Jarrett removed it off camera. Make sure everything is out of the way and grab the other half of the housing. Snap it into place like so, making sure the grommet is secure in the back of the housing. To be able to feed the cable to the fuse panel located behind the glove box, we need to remove the passenger A-pillar trim. Start by using a trim tool to remove this plastic cover here. Remove the T20 screw inside. If the metal bracket comes with it, you can put it back in place later. With the trim tool, start removing the trim by prying away from the top. And when all the fasteners release, pull up and wiggle it out. If any fasteners fall out, grab them and place them back into the trim for reinstallation later. Now start securing the power cable. Finish tucking it up under the headliner, and then down the A-pillar like so. Secure it to the existing harness with cable ties, but be careful not to get it in front of the airbag or interfere with it in any way. Tidy up the cable ties. To get to the fuse panel, open up your glove box and pinch in the two sides like so to drop it down to this position. Now we need to remove the side panel. Start by pulling back the weather stripping. Use a trim tool to then pop it off like so. Grab the other end of the harness and feed it through this opening here. and through the glove box opening. Pull all of it through. Now to plug it all in. With a fuse puller or carefully with pliers, remove the 10-amp fuse here. Place that fuse you just took out into the empty slot of the add-a fuse on the red wire, and plug the completed add-a fuse into the slot you removed the 10-amp fuse from in the panel. Like before, locate and remove this 10-amp fuse here. Place the fuse you just took out into the empty slot of the add-a fuse on the yellow wire. And plug the completed add-a fuse into the slot you removed the 10-amp fuse from in the panel. The last thing we need to do is ground the system. Locate and remove this T30 screw here, being careful not to drop it. For a clean installation, feed the ground wire behind the metal brace as seen here. Place the T30 screw through the ground fork terminal, and then replace the screw. At this point, the installation is done. Tidy up all of the excess cabling with a cable tie, and set it in front of the fuse panel. Push the glove box back in place. Replace the side panel by starting from the back and then snapping in the front. Make sure the weather stripping is over it. After confirming all of the fasteners are in the trim, replace the A-pillar trim by sliding in the bottom part first, and then snapping it into place like so. You might find it easier to pull back the weather stripping. Replace the metal tab if it fell out before, and reinstall the T20 screw. Snap the cover back on. Make sure the weather stripping is over it. Finally, replace the negative terminal on your battery, close the trunk, and you're done.
That's it! That's all there is to it. Again, for all the specs and more examples, go check out our previous videos on these dash cams linked in the description. But just to give you a quick example of what to expect, here are some clips from the dash cam in this E82. Want this for your BMW? Head on over to our site and enter your VIN to get the right kit for your vehicle. Have any more questions about this product? You can reach out to our sales team via chat on our site or by calling. Already have the product and have any questions about the install or anything else? Reach out to our support team and they will be eager to assist. But as always, for more tips and tricks, product reviews, and so much more for BMWs, Midis, and Supras, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell. Want to know what's happening first? Head on over to our site and sign up for our newsletter. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Thanks for watching.